Are GLP-1s right for you? Wow. Chapter 3 of Weightless talks about how GLP-1s can affect people of all ages and different medical conditions. She really does a great job. The doctor who's written Weightless has done a great job of describing who can and who cannot take a GLP-1.
What I thought was interesting was how many people can and for how many different kinds of situations it's applicable for, you know?
Exactly. And
But I also thought, I'm not going to remember all this. I think if I'm going to go talk to my doctor first of all, and I'm
oh,
going to bring this
absolutely.
book probably if that were the case, and also I would look up my specific situation. Oh, okay, yeah, thyroid, no, and okay, that yes, and this no, whatever. And I would be able to make a better determination.
Yeah. And this book really, chapter 3, really does a great job of letting you know if you are a candidate for a GLP-1. If this is your first time showing up to an Anchor Moments show, my name is Gina, and this is my husband of over 35 years, Jeff. And I have type 2 diabetes, and I do take Mounjaro. I'm currently on 15 milligrams. I have lost a little over 50 pounds in 2 years' time of taking my shot. And my husband, Jeff, is not taking a GLP-1. He was thin most of his life until he started getting a little bit older and maybe not quite as active. And then he started gaining weight with me before I started my GLP-1. And he has been working really hard doing a healthy lifestyle journey without a GLP-1. But I'll tell you what, Jeff, and for all of you, we just finished reading this chapter. We read it minutes before we came on. And this last hour.
And I listened to it both.
Yeah, Jeff read it and listened to it. He reads it on his Kindle and listens to it on Audible. I like the hardcover. I'm old school. I like to highlight my books just like I did in college. So but we are really enjoying this book. And chapter 3 was a really fun read of so many different questions that I would have about people in lots of different situations. Is a GLP-1 right for them? And what I was thinking, Jeff, so I haven't had a chance to even talk to Jeff about this yet. So you're getting it. This is really live. This is live. You could qualify for this GLP-1. If you wanted to start taking it, you could, because where your BMI is and high blood pressure. So you've got the comorbidity. So if your BMI is a 27 or more.
And it is.
And with your high blood pressure, those two together, the FDA, you'd be FDA approved for it. We'd have to see, though, if our insurance would cover it.
Now, I would want to look up all the details because it can be a factor if you have certain cancers and things like that. So, I'm not making that decision. I would have to talk to a doctor about it, and they're going to consider all of those variables. By the way, did you see your situation in some of the things in this chapter?
Absolutely. And my friends and my friends' kids. I mean, there was so much covered. And what's awesome, it's a doctor who's talking about it. She is Rocio Salas-Whalen, MD. She is a endocrinologist as well as a certified obesity doctor. She knows her stuff.
Board certified, right?
Board certified. She's been to college for a long time and she knows her stuff. So this chapter was really great. Now, they didn't mention it. They talked about there's different kinds of thyroid diseases and thyroid cancers that you actually are okay to take a GLP-1. There's only one kind of thyroid cancer that only like 2% of people get. No, PCOS is fine. That PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome or something like that, that women get because guys don't have ovaries.
I'm aware.
But there's a type of cancer that you could get as a man or a woman that's with your thyroid. I highlighted it. That one, mice who have that particular kind of thyroid cancer, GLP-1 can make it worse. They have not seen that yet in humans yet who have that particular kind. Here it is on page
81?
61.
61.
Oh gosh.
Medullary thyroid carcinoma, MTC, and multiple endocrine neoplasia type 2.
MEN2. That's what, if you have that, you can't do it.
But look at this. You know what? If you don't know, this is so nice how this is organized with charts. And it says at the top here, not a contraindication for these things, and speak to an experienced provider for these things, and a true contraindication for those things. So you don't, you know what I liked about this chapter was I didn't have to remember everything. It's all organized nicely in there, and I could come on today and say, oh, you know what? If I got to look up my thing in here, I got the reference right there. I can figure it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I think we do need to talk to your doctor just to see.
Well, I've lost 35 pounds, and I've kept off. I originally lost 72 pounds, but I've gained some back. But I've been maintaining at about 35 pounds consistently off. And I have not been real good about it.
No.
Because you have to still do the, do the work.
Exactly.
It would probably decrease food noise for me, so it would be easier for me to lose weight.
So let me just go over a little bit of what's not a contraindication that's on this chart.
What page
people
is that?
who
61?
have on page 61, people who have thyroid conditions like Hashimoto's disease, hypothyroidism, thyroid nodules, and the use of thyroid hormone replacement therapy, you could still take a GLP-1. You can do it if you have hormone replacement therapy. I have hormone replacement therapy. I had a hysterectomy in 2024, and I take an estradiol patch, low dose, and on Mondays and Fridays, I have to put on my estradiol patch. And then I also take just a teeny weeny bit of testosterone each day. And it's helped me with my postmenopausal symptoms that were just horrible night sweats and hot flashes, brain fog, all kinds of stuff. And it really helped. And
this
I can
actually
do
helps
this. Yeah.
With hot flashes because fat is an insulator and it can keep you hot when you're trying not to be.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. And now that I'm thinner than I was, losing that 50 pounds, I'm not as hot as I used to be.
I think she's pretty hot.
Aww.
Sorry, sweetie. Too much information.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, but look at all this stuff that's not a contraindication. So anyway, hormone replacement therapy, which I'm doing both hormone replacement therapy and my Mounjaro. PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Most thyroid cancers, papillary, follicular,
Hurdle cell.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you've had your gallbladder removed, you're still okay if you don't have a gallbladder. Elevated pancreatic enzymes not due to pancreatitis. Irritable bowel syndrome and related conditions. And they said for people who have IBS, it might actually help you instead of hurt you.
Yeah, like you say, you've always struggled with constipation. Hey, if you struggle with constipation, wait.
Yeah, I've always struggled with constipation.
If you struggle with irritable bowel syndrome.
If you've always struggled with diarrhea, maybe the constipation would be good and kind of bring you to the middle where you just be normal. But no, I always have struggled with constipation. So being on a GLP-1, I have to be extra careful. I just stay ahead of constipation. So I never let it build. I never go more than a day without pooping. I make sure that I take care of it the next day. So anyway, I stay on top of things. I don't let anything build up, because that's the only side effect that I've had to deal with is constipation, but I've always had constipation. So, it makes me more hyper.
Irritable bowels.
Yeah. There you go. So anyway, let's see what else they have here. Elevated pancreatic. Okay. Did I hit all of it?
Yep.
Oh, and history of pancreatitis. That was kind of interesting too. That it said GLP-1 medications stimulate insulin release, but only when blood sugar levels are elevated. This targeted action makes it unlikely for the medication to lead to pancreatitis, which is so good to know.
Now, one of the things in there it said about pancreatitis, it's not something you just kind of overlook and think, I wonder if I have pancreatitis. You're like in the hospital. It's a severe thing.
It's severe. You
can't just, I'm not sure if I have that or not. They're going to know.
Oh, no. There's someone I used to work with at the YMCA. She used to get pancreatitis. And when she would get it, she would be at the hospital in the ICU.
Yes.
ICU.
It's a serious
That's serious. That's serious. And it's extreme pain, extreme vomiting and diarrhea. I mean, it's bad. There's not, I wonder if I have it. Oh, no, you're hurting. You're hurting big time. And if you are hurting big time like that, call your doctor, because maybe you have pancreatitis. You need to go to the hospital if you're on a GLP-1 or not. Yeah, you probably need to go to the ER if it's really, really, really awful. You need to check in on that. But it does say if you've previously had documented pancreatitis caused by a GLP-1, the general recommendation is to avoid these medications. So if you do have a lot of problems with pancreatitis and you've had it by being on any GLP-1 medication, then you probably shouldn't do it. But if you've had it before, if your pancreatitis was unrelated to GLP-1 use, the situation is more nuanced. You may still be a candidate, but only after careful discussion with an experienced and knowledgeable provider. And this is my Gina opinion.
She's not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor either.
But if you're someone who's ever had pancreatitis, you don't want to do this on telehealth. You want to go to a doctor that sees you, that can touch you, that can push on your belly and see if there's problems. You do not want to do it telehealth. You want to have a real deal doctor to that can touch you, feel you, do lab work and stuff that's in the room with you. Because there's times that my doctors too, I lay down on the bed and they push on my belly, because I always have kind of my belly's a little bloated because I battle constipation, but they have to make sure I don't have tumors and stuff too. So when I have my yearly check, it's not a tumor. They have me lay down and they actually push on my belly. If I went to a telehealth doctor, they can't push on my belly. AI could only do so much.
And it's not AI. It's usually a person.
But even a person, even a real person, they can't do that.
I had a dog bite and I knew I needed an antibiotic. And it was like, was it a weekend even or something like that?
Mm-hmm,
and I had to talk to somebody. Oh, I have telehealth. I went on my insurance. So I went and did it and talked to the person. I know.
And he was spit on his face. So, it wasn't like it was him.
It was like a antibiotic. And the telehealth doctor said, "Oh, we can't prescribe that over telehealth. You'll have to actually go in to see a real person." And and
they still charged us for that telehealth visit too.
Some things are better in person anyway.
Right.
And if you think you're going to get around it by doing telehealth, you probably can't, because if they couldn't prescribe an antibiotic for me when I have a clear dog bite, they probably can't prescribe GLP-1s over the phone.
I mean, and you could see he was bleeding. It was so obvious. It was on his face and he was bleeding like, oh, what do I do?
I'm okay
and
now.
They couldn't hardly do anything for him. Now, on the other hand, if you do not have any comorbidities and you're just a normal, healthy person who's pudgy and battling obesity with no comorbidities whatsoever, comorbidities, then yeah, if you and you live far away from a doctor and that's your best bet is to be able to do telehealth, sure, not a big what, that may be just the thing for you. But if you have comorbidities, go see your doctor in person. You got to see somebody who can see you, touch you, feel you, rub your neck and see if your glands are swollen, all that kind of stuff. They need to be able to see you. So that way you get the best help possible. And that is my humble Gina opinion.
and you don't want to do what I did and waste your money when they couldn't help me anyway.
Yeah.
I think you probably still have to go. We had to still. Anyway,
we still had to go to urgent care for him. Yeah. All right. So let's see here. What else? Gosh, there was so much exciting things in this chapter.
What did you think about the stuff they talked about with people who are pregnant or wanting to get pregnant?
That was huge too.
And the person's life story, I think, was in their case story, where the doctors said, well, you know what, the best situation for you and your baby before you get pregnant would be to be at a good weight, because the epigenetic factors would influence the baby's health from a birth and your own health. So,
and what was interesting, not just the mamas, the dads too. That there are epigenetic factors in chubby dads.
Sorry.
So sorry. Yeah. I mean, no one, everything always blames the mother. It's so hard being a woman, I'm telling you. But it's not just the mom, it's the dad too, because half of those DNA things go, it's a 50-50 mix of that. But I never thought about that before. And to see a doctor put that in writing, that the men's health is important too. I mean,
I think I was skinny when we got.
Oh yeah, you were so thin. Jeff was almost underweight. He was so thin. He was thin.
I taught kindergarten though. You know how they run you around and you can't take a snack anytime. You're anyway.
Yeah.
It was intense. An intense workout.
It was an intense workout.
Yeah.
So anyway, that I found that to be really interesting. I've never heard of that before. It's always the health of the mother, and what the mother's eating when she's pregnant and blah, blah, blah. Mom. But the guy, it's important for the dads to be healthy too.
But they also talked about if you're pregnant that or breastfeeding, that the molecules is probably too large to be able to make it through to the breast milk. But it did. It's like some of the rat studies or something like that. So they're not doing studies like clinical trials on pregnant women with something that they don't know is not going to hurt them. So they don't really know and are more cautious.
So about that. So like if you're on a GLP-1 and all of a sudden, oops, you get pregnant, they recommend that you stop taking your GLP-1 until after your baby is born.
Well, definitely talk to your doctor.
Yeah. And they're not entirely sure with breastfeeding
because they're not going to take chances in a clinical trial with something they don't know.
And how many women are going to volunteer for that? To be part of a trial, clinical trial, when they have a choice. Brand new babies that they're breastfeeding and stuff.
Gina,
it'd be hard to even find people who'd want to be studied on that, I would think.
The rats didn't have a choice.
Yeah, the rats didn't have a choice. So they can do a lot of different things with rats that they can't do with, they can't talk people into doing. So and
then we're trying to hurt the rats.
No, I guess. I don't know.
No, anyway.
I can't speak to that. I've not been in the lab. I can't speak to that. Okay. Let's see what else. Gosh, there was so much. Oh, and I thought it was also interesting on page 63, they talked about people with type 1 diabetes.
Oh yeah.
And I have a friend with type 1 diabetes, and she was she's a retired nurse practitioner now, and she has type 1 diabetes. And before I took Mounjaro, so it was more than 2 years ago, because she took Mounjaro before I did. And it was not for type 1 diabetes. Back then, it was only for type 2. They weren't giving it to anyone that was type 1. But she was a nurse practitioner and really good friends with a bunch of doctors that she worked with. And she was able to get one to do it off label for her to try it and see.
And monitor.
And she loved it. She only needed to lose around 30 or 35 pounds. And she said it really helped her. But they were, very much monitoring. And she wears one of those insulin pumps and blood sugar sensors, all of that kind of, continuous glucose monitor. I mean, she really watched it. And, after she lost her 35 pounds, she went off her GLP-1. I don't think she's taken it again, but she's very good at exercising and eating healthy and doing all the things. But, she's newly retired. She's of the age that weight creeps up on you no matter what you do. And it helped her to get some weight off. And she was very successful with it. And we have another friend that has a YouTube channel, Calamity Jane, JC Calamity Jane. And we've had her as a guest on our show. She has type 1 diabetes. And she
mentions that.
And she tells us that. So I'm not breaking any HIPAA with her because she talked about it as a guest on our show, and her doctors monitor what she's doing, and she's having great success with it. And now I guess they're giving it to more type 1 diabetes patients, just from what was written here in chapter 3 of Weightless, that they're showing that for type 1 diabetes who struggle with appetite regulation, weight gain from insulin use, and uncontrolled glucose levels, for them, GLP-1s can provide life-changing benefits, reduced cravings, greater satiety, and lower insulin requirements. Their blood sugar level often becomes more stable, and they lose weight in a way they've never been able to before. However, this approach requires extremely careful management. And anyone with type 1 diabetes using a GLP-1 should be closely followed by an experienced endocrinologist who can help adjust the dosage of insulin appropriately. But now it's not off the table for people with type 1 diabetes. And that's really exciting as long as they're really seeing their doctor. And I'm saying in person is best.
So what do you think about the stuff related to children and young adults that was mentioned in there?
That was interesting too, because this medication, she talks about it, that really it's something that you do for the most part for life. For most of us, it's something you would take for life.
Yeah. What did we both laugh at?
It'd be like telling someone who has asthma and they're on an inhaler, and to say one day, hey, you know what? You haven't had an asthma attack in a while. Give up that inhaler. You don't need that inhaler anymore, and take it away from them. No, if you take away their inhaler, it can go back. Same thing. Someone who always has hypertension and they take hypertension medication. And then to say, oh, we took your blood pressure. It looks pretty good. We're not going to let you have that medication anymore. Well, their blood pressure is going to go back up again when they're not taking their medication.
Here's the quote. We don't ask people with asthma how long they plan to use an inhaler, or expect people with high cholesterol to will their levels to drop after a few months. This is no different.
Right, exactly. Now, that doesn't say that you absolutely 100% every single person has, if they start taking a GLP-1, they can never, ever, ever, ever stop. That's not true. There are some people like my neighbor who had type 1 diabetes and just, going through menopause and postmenopause, she gained some weight that she was having a hard time getting it off. And she was able to do it, lose her 35 pounds, but she continues to exercise. She continues to eat healthy, and she's been okay. And I think if the weight starts coming back, she'll probably talk to her doctor again about taking the GLP-1 again for a little bit until she gets it off. It really, it depends on the person. Just like Mayor Mindy always says. What does she say, Jeff?
Everybody is different, and every body is different.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. So
Thanks,
anyway,
Mindy.
lots of cool stuff in here. So if you have questions about if you should take it before you try to get pregnant, spoiler alert, you can. They think it's a good idea to help you lose weight first, but then go off it before you get pregnant. But try to lose the weight first.
This is not medical advice. It's in the book.
This is in the book. I'm just telling you what's in the book. Because yes, I'm not a doctor, so I can't give you true medical advice other than really try to see a real doctor if you can, someone in person who can push on your belly and stuff and make sure you're okay.
Don't just rely on the internet for medical advice or AI, where AI likes to agree with anything that you say, and it can lie to you. Don't believe it.
Or maybe it doesn't. Well, I don't know if it tries to lie to you on purpose, but it
uses large language models to figure out how to respond to people. And for some reason, there are a lot of people in the world who have used the internet who lie. Yeah. And they're using that as part of their source material.
Ding, ding.
I think so. Anyway,
so just
take
be
that
careful.
Into consideration.
Take that into consideration.
Talk to a real doctor.
Yeah, talk to a real doctor.
Maybe not telehealth, but
yeah. But now I have questions that we'll have to ask Jeff's doctor, and it would depend on insurance coverage and stuff too. So
but the best part about this chapter is it pretty much covers all the different contingencies and different situations people could be in. So
including children,
young adults, which you're going to talk about in a second here.
Okay.
Not because you're young. Sorry.
It's the alcohol thing. So, okay.
What also? Yeah. Well, they also mentioned for old people too, like us.
Yeah. So one of the things about alcohol, I learned this the hard way, and I have shared it on my show. I go live every Monday on Mounjaro Mondays. I give myself my shot live. I've done 108 videos of giving myself my shot live and doing a live Q&A. And I tell you, when I mess up, I share my mess ups because I hope it'll keep someone else to having to do the same mistake that I did. And so that's why I share. And I discovered the hard way. See, I don't drink alcohol every day. And the reason it's not a moral issue or anything, it's the calories. And so for years and years and years, except for college, I don't drink very often. But I do when I'm, if I was going to a Super Bowl party, because today is Super Bowl Sunday, I'll have a beer because everyone else is having a beer or whatever. Yeah. Or if I, especially when my parents come into town, and my parents are so sweet and they love to spoil us, and they'll take us to a really nice restaurant and they'll let us order cocktails. And I love a good cocktail, but I found out while on a GLP-1, I can't have more than one. I can have one cocktail with my dinner and I'll be okay. But if I have two, even if I space them and have one right before dinner comes, and have a cocktail and when the appetizers come out, and I don't have my second drink until dinner is almost over an hour later, and have my second drink, I'm not tipsy. I don't think I'm tipsy anyway. It's hard to tell because I'm such a happy-go-lucky person. It'd be hard to tell, but I don't think that I'm tipsy. And I have my second drink. If I have two drinks, it doesn't hit me like when I'm done drinking that drink. It hits me in middle of the night. I will wake up with gastric emptying. And I didn't know when someone said, "Oh, it might cause gastric emptying." What the heck does that mean? It means that everything in your stomach and your intestines leaves at the same time. It's not fun. It feels like a horrible flu. And that has happened to me twice because I wasn't that smart the second time. So the first time I was just like, oh, maybe it was something I ate because I was eating such a heavy meal, higher density calories with dinner. So I thought maybe it's something I ate. But the second time it happened to me, I realized, hey, I had 2 cocktails and I didn't have a hangover or anything, but it's that second cocktail. And so then I tried for a while, no alcohol, but it's really fun when my parents take me out. And I have particular drinks that I like to get that'd be kind of fun, like a pina colada or whatever. And if I have just one with my meal, I'm okay. And I really have to make sure that I stop eating when I'm satisfied and not when I'm full. So even though I'm eating a higher density calorie things, I don't finish. I eat a little bit and I enjoy it, and I can enjoy one cocktail and then I won't throw up. Then I'll be fine in the middle of the night. I'll be able to sleep through the night and be just fine. So in over 2 years of taking GLP-1s, 108 shots that I have taken so far, I've only thrown up 3 times. The first time, no alcohol, but I was so new to the GLP-1s, and it was after I titrated up from 2.5 to 5. That's double. That's a double size of dose. It's the only titration that's like a big difference because it's a double of the dose, and I ate something too heavy. And then I woke up in the middle of the night and was sick. And I was like, whoa, because I didn't get sick on 2.5 milligrams, but that 5 milligram, I think that was my fourth or fifth week. So it was like brand new to the 5 milligrams, and I ate something too heavy. And then the other 2 times I had 2 cocktails, and one of them was in Vegas. Dang it. And I even did a video about it in Vegas. I said, don't make this Vegas mistake on a GLP-1, and don't drink 2 or more cocktails. Just stick to one, because if you take that second one, you might end up miserable.
Too bad you didn't read this book first.
I know. And then come to find out, it was right
in
here. Yeah. A doctor only has so much time with you
and
when you're going for your visits.
Know all the various things that people, I don't know, run into.
Yeah. So it was kind of neat reading in the chapter.
Yeah.
Well, no duh.
Hey,
it happens to a lot of people.
Talking about Gina.
Yeah, it said, for college students, they might not want to take a GLP-1 because you have to really talk to those college students. Do you like to binge drink with your friends? Because if you do, you can't be on a GLP-1 because you're going to be like, it's going to be coming out of both ends, But if you're in college and you're tired of battling obesity and you're willing to not do alcohol or limit yourself to just one alcoholic drink in an evening, then you'll be okay. But if you want more than one alcoholic drink, then a GLP-1 probably shouldn't be your jam.
Here's what I think we should do with the rest of this before we go to the comments.
Okay.
I think you should find the quote or the little excerpt that's in here that you thought was the most valuable, and I'll tell you mine.
Okay, why don't we go with yours first?
Okay. This is when they were talking about people who were concerned about whether they'd have to take this medication forever. And here's the quote. Don't frame GLP-1 therapy as being dependent on a medication forever. Think of it as a way to give your body the support it needs for as long as it needs it, without shame or stigma.
Without shame or stigma. Yes.
You want me to find another one, Gina?
Because that pretty much is it. That's why I'm really enjoying this book, is it's taking away the shame and stigma. And I appreciate that.
It's got a lot of information for reference at any point in time.
Yeah.
You have a question, you can look it up right in this chapter mainly. And that's really great.
Okay. Actually, I saw something, page 64. I don't know if this gal watches my book club videos as well, but I have a playlist about being on a GLP-1 and hormone replacement therapy. And and I talk about being on testosterone, and she's been commenting back and forth with me the last couple of days. And her doctor will prescribe estrogen for her, but not testosterone. And she's like, what can I do? And I was like, well, why don't you ask your doctor why? Why do they not want you to take testosterone? Because maybe you have a medical condition that it would be bad for. And I know my gynecologist, she had me do a lot of tests before she'd give me anything, any hormones. But when I passed all of them and all the things, she said, okay, all right, now let's give it a try, because I don't think it's going to hurt you. So let's see how you do. And when she put me on it, she also said, and I want to see you in 6 weeks. And if you have any problems before then, you call my office right away. But I went in for my 6-week check, and I was like, oh my gosh, my hot flashes are gone, and I don't pee my pants when I'm running to the bathroom anymore. And I mean, it just stopped so many things. My brain fog's lifted.
Well, not all of it.
Didn't make me smarter than I used to be, but at least it didn't make me stupider anymore. So it did a lot of things within 6 weeks time. So I was very happy. And then we just I've been staying on the same dose. But page 64 does talk about some reasons why for some women, testosterone wouldn't be a good thing. And for some women, it is helpful, but for some women, it's not. And I did remember that the FDA has not done a lot of testing of women and testosterone, except for in one category, which is probably because I'm guessing a lot of people who pay for the research are men who, and they want their wives to be
what?
Extra loving at home. Oh. So the only thing that the FDA or the only thing that there's been drug companies spending a bunch of money to see how testosterone affects women is in libido. And so if you have a low libido as a menopausal, postmenopausal woman, I don't know about the perimenopause because I didn't have any help before then. I have no knowledge, advice on that. But from menopause and beyond, then if they look at other factors about you and it seems like it's okay, they can prescribe testosterone for women, but only low libido. And so I forgot to mention that to her, that is the buzzword. But there's other reasons why your doctor, like mine, might not prescribe testosterone to a woman. And it lists those. If you, people who have, it says, and it's under the PCOS stuff. And it says the real underlying issue in PCOS is hormonal, specifically elevated levels of androgens, such as testosterone, a condition called
androgenemia.
Thank you. So elevated testosterone also can contribute to the buildup of visceral fat. If you have too much testosterone, it can increase your visceral fat. I did not know that. And I do have a lot of visceral fat. It's gone down a little bit because I know from doing my Hume Body Pod scale that my visceral fat has gone down, and I'm taking testosterone. So I'm probably okay. But that is good to know. If I start seeing when using my Hume Body Pod or doing a DEXA scan and go, I've been eating well and my visceral fat's going up, I need to talk to my doctor about it, because then maybe I'll have to go off of the testosterone because I don't want to make my health worse. I want to make it better, not worse.
I was wondering if maybe part of it was also that it's not dosed inconveniently for women as it is for men, where they use an entire pouch of the stuff. And
as a guy, and I have to figure out
measure it
1/10. Yeah, 1/10 every day.
And And hormones can have big effects, if you don't use the right amount.
But this is why it is really important. You don't want to take too much testosterone because if you overdose testosterone, it could be bad for you, really bad for you. So, you have to do it exactly right. And it had some other things like if you have where you wouldn't want to have the testosterone, like if you are battling acne, that wouldn't be helpful. Or if you have a lot of, this hormonal imbalance often results in symptoms such as thick, dark, coarse hair on the chin, chest, or other areas, acne, and scalp hair thinning or loss. It's a possibility that you already have elevated testosterone. So, so your doctor would not let you take testosterone if it was already elevated. So, there's a lot of things. That's why you really have to talk to your doctor. When you listen to somebody like me on YouTube who's not your doctor, and even if you listen to a doctor on YouTube, they'll say, "You're not my patient. You still need to see your doctor because your doctor can look in your medical file. Your doctor could push on your belly or whatever." Yeah. She doesn't know, or he doesn't know exactly what you're dealing with. They can give you generalizations that most patients, this is really good for, and this is why. Most people, but they can't say exactly you without seeing you as their patient. And so they always have things about that too. Even the beginning in the foreword or the introduction here, this doctor says, "I'm not your doctor." So still what I'm telling you about is generalizations of people, but you still need to see your specific doctor and ask your specific questions. But it'll give you great questions to ask your doctor.
And great information.
And fantastic information.
I'm wondering how many doctors, like primary care physicians, would have all this kind of information they know it already. Maybe they don't.
They have to know so much about so many different kinds of diseases and stuff. And this is pretty recent. So this is a great book.
Let's go to the comments.
All right. Yep. And that's all I have. So let's see what you guys have. And then I'll try to go through kind of quickly because I know a lot of you want to go and watch the Super Bowl since it is Super Bowl Sunday. Hey, we got Grant in the house. Woo woo. And Laura's here too. Yay. And we've got Sin in the house. Hey, Sin. And Dawn's here too. Yay.
Okay.
Nope. I'm just going quickly when people are saying hi to each other. And I love it that you guys do that. And we've become all good friends here. And Grant's laughing at Jeff. And Dawn says, "My doctor said, don't let the thyroid warning scare you off because in follow-up studies, it only showed up in rats and not people, except those with a rare hereditary thyroid cancer." Yep. And so absolutely. Thanks, Dawn, for sharing. And Grant says, "I've been so cold this winter, the coldest I've ever been."
I wish I could
because he's skinny now too. But Grant has lost over 70 pounds, so he doesn't have that insulation anymore either. Hey, and we got Sarah in the house too. Hi, Sarah. And Sarah says, "Do you have any information about is it safe with thyroid nodules?" It said yes in this chapter, but definitely talk to your doctor. I would think it would depend on the root cause of your nodules. Your doctor is the best source for that answer.
Good
Absolutely.
Answer.
Good answer, Don. But there's hope because of chapter 3, because they did mention that you probably would still be able to do it, but you still have to ask your doctor.
Yeah.
And hey, and A. Barnett's here too. Oh, just Gina, you're looking great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Dawn says, "I agree, Gina. Estrogen plus testosterone has been a game changer for me personally. My doctor set my script to a local compound pharmacy. Insurance won't cover, but $15 for 3 months, one pump, no guessing." Wow, only $15 for 3 months? Wow, my local compound pharmacy, there was a possibility I could do that, and my insurance won't pay for testosterone either because they think it only helps your libido, and they're like, they don't care.
Sorry.
They really don't care, if you want to kiss your husband or not. But uh, 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 I get my testosterone at Costco. And what was interesting, I get a pack of a 1 month pack for a man, which is 300 days for me. And they were going to charge me 200 and some dollars. And I remembered the first time a lady that was working it played around a little bit, and she was able to get it for me for around $100. And when I mentioned that the second time I went to get a box, and instead of being $100 out of pocket, it was over 200. And I said, "Wow, that's double in price." And she said, "Oh, just a minute." And then there's some kind of special coupon that they can do.
It's a special man
coupon. Yeah, special man coupon. I don't know, but at Costco, and Costco has that with a lot of different drugs. They have a special where they can give you a special rate that is often cheaper than what your health insurance will give it to you for. And but it doesn't go towards your deductible. Just like when I went to pick up 3 months worth of Mounjaro on a new health insurance, I finally was able to get, so I did get approved. Yay for my 15 milligrams. I'm approved again for a solid year. And I went to pick it up. And when she first, played around with it, it was going to be, I think it was going to be $400, 400 and some dollars. And I was like, wow. On my other health insurance, it was only 25. I said, "Is it because do I need to reapply for the coupon from Eli Lilly?" And she said, "Just a minute." And then she played around and she made a phone call and played around a little more. And then she said, "Okay, we got it all figured out with the Eli Lilly coupon kind of thing. But since my new insurance doesn't pay as much as my old insurance does, for 3 months, it was just $25. But she said there'll be one of those 3 months, it'll be more than $25 because I've used up the maximum amount that Eli Lilly will compensate with my insurance." The reason I'm giving you this long story, because it'll help you. So when you go to your pharmacist and wherever pharmacy you go, especially if it's Costco, and you get a price and it takes your breath away, ask them if they have another price that you can pay without using your insurance. Do they have a special discount rate? Because that discount might be less than you'd be paying for with insurance. And that happens. That happens sometimes. And so definitely ask. And a lot of different medications, not just Mounjaro. If you go to their website, they may have a coupon that you can use from the drug company with your insurance together and get a lower rate. So that's just some advice that I'm learning as an old person who's taking more meds now.
And we don't know if it's because of how helpful Costco is. We know they are.
I really like my Costco. The people there are really helpful.
If the pharmacy that you're using doesn't help you out very much, you might just look at Costco and see what they can offer.
Yeah, or pharmacy shop. You can pharmacy shop just like you doctor shop, and find someone that fits your beliefs and the things that you need. Okay. Hey, we got traveling tea in the house. Traveling tea. I don't know what happened. You guys, I got to interview yesterday and it was awesome. I got to interview Julia Bellas, the author of Food Intelligence, which was the last co-author. That was the last book we did for our weight loss book club. And I'd asked I did a 3-minute video last week asking people, let me know what your questions are, because Julia Bellas is in Paris, France. And so I wasn't sure how good the internet connection would be and quality stuff.
Because France.
Well, you don't know. It was my first time doing an international interview. And so I asked my shipmates, if you have a question that you want me to ask Julia, please let me know and I will ask her your questions. So that way, I could help you guys out too. If you have a burning question, let's get the answer, because when I did Kevin Hall, the other co-author, I did that one as a live. So my shipmates were able to ask questions live to him while I was interviewing him, but I couldn't do that for Julia. And the first person who gave me a question was Traveling T. And it was a fabulous question. It was kind of multifaceted. And I can't even remember exactly what it was, but I was like, wow, that is such an intelligent question. I'm so glad she asked it. And I will definitely ask that. And then the morning of the interview yesterday, Jeff made me index cards and put all the questions on it. But Traveling T's comment disappeared. And we looked for it. We couldn't find it. So I just want to let you know, I love you bunches. And I wish I could have asked your question. But when we looked for it, it disappeared. So we didn't get to ask. So I hope we answered it, because I asked a bunch of different things. And I'm hoping that we did answer Traveling T's question.
But even if we didn't, when we have the premiere, you can add your question into there. And
right. And
Julia say that she would be,
well, she's going to try.
Okay.
So Julia is a mom of little kids too, in Paris, and she has a day job. You know, she's a writer, and she's still writing articles for big
Times
magazines and things and newspapers. So anyway, she's going to try to go to the premiere. And if she said if she can't make it to the premiere, she'll definitely, in the comments, she'll read all the comments that you guys put, and she'll answer your questions in the comments. So, and our premiere, yeah, but the premiere is live. So it's only for 1 hour. It was a 1 hour interview.
During the same time because of the time difference. And
it's an 8 hour time difference. So she may or may not. You got a 50-50 chance, but for sure she will, in the following days afterwards, she'll be checking at the comments at her leisure and answering some of your questions.
Sorry.
But it's going to be great. We're going to do it on Tuesday at 4 o'clock Arizona time, which is 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern, like midnight in Paris. So so I don't know if she has insomnia, maybe that'll work. But I was hoping that would be when most people can watch. But it's a really good interview, and she has answered a lot of really good questions. And
sorry.
And Dawn says, remember, if you pay out of pocket, take the money off your taxes if you itemize. Thank you, Dawn. That is good information too. And Grant says, good point. So hard to itemize these days, though. And Traveling T says, good news. I've met my deductible and out of pocket for the year. Yay. And so that means, wow. And it's already you got the whole year. When I had my hysterectomy, I only had 1 month because I hit my deductible and out of pocket. But in that month, I did all the things that I hadn't done before. I finally saw a skin doctor to make sure I didn't have skin cancer. I never did a skin doctor screen before. I finally had my veins in my legs looked at and found out I did have chronic venous insufficiency. And that's what that weird, creepy, crawly feeling I would get in my legs was. It was my veins. But anything that you can even think of, Traveling T, this is your year to get everything checked up so you can be at your very best. And Traveling T says, okay, I'll find the question. Yeah, it's too late. I already interviewed her, but we looked for it.
Because we can put it in the comments.
But we can put it in the comments if we can find it. And so that way she can answer it. And it was funny because we had her look too, because she's like, yeah, I remember there was a Traveling T who asked that question. And so there was a break in there where we're trying to find it. And she couldn't find it. Jeff couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. And then Jeff was able to edit that part out. So that way it didn't make the video too long of us searching, but we really did search for you, Traveling T. So if you can find it, put it in the comments there because she will answer it for you. And Grant says, okay, I'll find the question too. Great. And image looked great today. Very clear. Awesome. Yay. We've been working on our internet, moving our router boxes to different places so it could be nice and clear. All right. It's been almost an hour, and it is Super Bowl Sunday. So I know a bunch of you may be wanting to go watch the games or get prepared to have friends over. And Traveling T says, it's our view of body shaped by culture, traditions. Is our view of food shaped by culture, traditions, and community? Oh, that is really good. And you know what? I think she answered a lot of that because we talked a lot about that and about the culture in Paris versus Canada and the United States. It was really good. You guys are just gonna love her. She's
really
precious.
Good interview.
It's a really good
really
interview. And would people on both sides of the Atlantic resonate with the book? Oh, yeah. I didn't ask that question. I don't think so. But that needs to be. Can you put that Traveling T? Look for it's up where it says premiere and put that in.
Can you put a comment now?
Can you put a comment now? I think you can. I think you can.
That'd be great.
And if you can, please do, because I don't think we asked that question. Exactly. But exactly. The other one is answered really well pretty close, very, very thoroughly. She really hit a lot of that. It was really good. It was very interesting, especially with her living in Paris now. And she was raised in Canada, born and raised in Canada, lived in the United States for a very long time, and then moved to Paris. And she's been in Paris for quite a while. You can add it now.
Great.
Yay. Thanks, Grant. All right, everybody. Tomorrow, I'm going to go live probably 30 minutes earlier than I normally do because we are getting ready for our RV trip and some meetups where we're going to connect with a lot of you that can see us in Florida at Peace, Love, and Vans, at a special meetup that Barb Health at Any Cost is setting up for us in Orlando. So we're trying to get everything ready, and we're going to see our grandson and our kids and have them over for dinner tomorrow night. So I'll go live at 5 when I give myself my shot. So I'm going to go 5 o'clock Arizona time. So it'll be 30 minutes earlier, 6 o'clock Central and 7 o'clock Eastern for tomorrow. And then Tuesday, you'll be able to see the premiere with Julia Bellas, and it's pretty cool. All right, everyone. Chapter 4 next week when we're on the road. Hold on to your anchor moments and make it a great day. Bye-bye.